One summer, this kid owned the neighborhood. Where he lived, his house sat right next to the very popular neighborhood park. The park had basketball courts, baseball field, tennis courts. If you were a kid in that town, you were chilling at that park pretty much every day. One summer, he's there, he realizes, kids seem pretty thirsty. Kids seem pretty hungry. They're walking all the way to their houses to get snacks, and then they're coming back. But then he looks at his garage, which, like I said, is right across the street. And he gets a brilliant idea. The next day, he convinces his parents to take him to Costco. He comes back with coolers, chips, drinks, candy, ice pops, ice cream. Then he opens his garage door, sets up a table, makes signs with poster board and Sharpie, and what he wrote on that sign was snacks for sale. And it works immediately. Step right up, snacks, drinks, ice cream. The baseball kids are stopping by in between games, getting a Gatorade. Basketball team's coming over. He's running a freaking concession stand for the kids at the park. What a genius. Then he starts upgrading. He's putting really nice folding chairs in the driveway. Sets up a speaker. Now kids aren't just buying snacks. They're buying snacks and they're hanging out. One guy finishes a basketball game and goes, all right, guys, meet up at the garage. At one point, there were so many bikes piled up on this kid's lawn, everyone assumed that there was a big birthday party or something. But no, it was just business, baby. The kid wasn't charging crazy prices either. He was making a profit, but it wasn't that much of a profit. He was doing this for the neighborhood, for the kids, for summer. And baby, that sounds awesome. This kid in band was obsessed with yo mama jokes. Yo mama so squiggly, she's squiggle on me. And he would say them every day. Yo mama so old, she pre-ordered the Bible. Yo mama so ugly, not even goldfish crackers smile back. Then a hurricane happened. Schools closed for a while, and everybody comes back. Everyone's talking about it, seeing who lost power, who's got flooding, all that stuff. Band class starts up again. The teacher's getting everybody settled in. All right, class, settle down. I'm glad to see all of you are well. Well, then this kid walks in, the yo mama kid. He's got the biggest smile on his face. The whole class can see what's coming. The teacher asks, Kevin, how you doing, buddy? The kid goes, yo mama. And before he could even finish, the teacher cuts him off without missing a beat. He says, died in the hurricane. I am so sorry. Silence. You could hear a pin drop. Yeah, the teacher's mom passed away during the hurricane. The kid's just sitting there, shocked. He quietly turns around, walks back to his seat, sits down. And according to every single person in that room, the yo mama joke kid never made a yo mama joke ever again. This teacher had a student that was obnoxious, and anytime she tried to punish him for it, he didn't care. If he got his attention, he would come back smiling. If she called home, he did not care. He liked lunch detentions. He asked to be suspended. Nothing worked, and the kid knew it, and still every single day he would come to class and just be annoying for the sake of it. Limu, lamu, limu, lamu, limu, lamu, limu. Oh my god, I hate my life. And if he wasn't making weird limu, lamu noises, he'd be tapping pencils, humming, kicking the desk, driving everybody insane. One day the teacher snaps. Hey, what do I have to do to make you stop this? Kid thinks about it for a second and then he says this. Bring me stuff. What stuff? Candy, snacks, whatever. Now that's absolutely ridiculous. But the teacher was desperate because she's tried everything. There's no punishing this kid. He just doesn't care. So the next day she shows up with a pack of gum. Hey, here, I brought you this. Thanks. And the transformation is immediate. The kid sits down. He's silent. He does his work. He raises his hand. He's absolutely perfect, and the teacher can't frickin' believe it. Then, the next day, she forgets to bring him something. And immediately, limu, lamu, limu, lamu, limu, right back to it. And according to the students, she stopped everything she was doing, left the room, ran to the vending machine, and came back carrying 4 bags of mini Chips Ahoy cookies. The kid looked at him, took them, nodded, and went right back to behaving super well. The student trained the teacher to bring him stuff so he wouldn't be annoying. Honestly, kid's a legend. This kid's family owned a carpet store, which meant their garage was full of carpet samples. Little squares that are all different colors and different textures. Little mini carpets. And now most people would have looked at these and saw worthless pieces of carpet, but he did not ignore it. He saw a business opportunity. So one Monday, he brings a stack of these carpet samples to school. He takes 2 and sets them on each side of his desk. And that, for that class, was where he put his elbows. Bro, what are those? Oh, these? They're desk carpets. They keep my elbows comfortable all class period. And that's all he had to say. Immediately, people wanted these little luxurious desk mats. And he just starts charging $5, $2, honestly, whatever people had. Bag of chips? Sure, here's 2 squares. Enjoy your class. After a while of doing this, a bunch of students at that school were using these every single day. The more the demand went up, the more he charged for the nicer quality fabrics. Business was absolutely flippin' booming. In total, he made around $700, and then the school shut him down, because that's what schools do. That's how you gotta think, and you gotta respect it. This kid's grandpa was a courtroom sketch artist, and for some reason, instead of his grandpa teaching him normal stuff, his grandpa taught him how to sketch.
Hey, good job, kid, you're doing great.
Hey, thanks, Gramps. Well, see, this kid was in middle school. He really wanted to draw stuff for court cases, but, So one day he talks to his smartest friend, and the friend goes, "Why don't you make your own court?" And they did. That smart kid became the judge. A couple of other friends became attorneys. And every day during lunch, they would set up in the corner, and then they start spreading the word. Anybody who has a beef with anybody, take it to lunch court. We'll settle this. Then word started to spread. Any type of beef that any friends would have, they would come to lunch court. Kids would walk up, explain their side. The attorneys would argue. The judge would make a ruling. And this entire time, this kid's just sitting back, sketching everything like it was an actual trial. And it would get intense. One kid brought his own witness statements from different classmates. Evidence started to be involved in these cases. There was a wait list of students waiting for their trial date. The kid who was the judge started carrying around this notebook filled with all the cases he's doing. Suddenly, he's stressing out. And this kid had a giant binder filled with these courtroom images. And honestly, that sounds like so much fun.
This girl's in 8th grade. She's tiny, pretty short. Like she barely comes up to anybody's shoulders. Well, her dad is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu teacher, and he taught her jiu-jitsu when she was very young. I want you to be able to defend yourself, sweetie, only if you need to. And she was really good at it. She had these skills, but she never had to use it until one day. This senior dude won't leave her alone. Hey, what's up? So what are you doing? Hey, what's happening? Get away from me. He's getting in her face. The teachers see this, but they don't do anything. He then grabs her arm really hard. Hey, get back here. And that's when it ends. One clean move. And this kid's on the floor, knocked out. The hallway is dead silent now. Everyone's watching. Well, here's the wild part. That kid goes home that night, and this kid's parents lose it. They demand a meeting. They say that their son was attacked. They want the girl expelled. And the school sides with them until her dad stands up. My daughter isn't going anywhere. I was walking around earlier. I see cameras in every single hallway. Why don't we run it back to see what really happened? And if you still think my daughter should be expelled, I'm gonna sue this entire school and him for assault. And this dad was intense. They believed him. Then it switched. This girl was not getting expelled. Instead, the guy does. Good on her for sticking up for herself, and good on the dad for being awesome.
This second grader decides, I want to do something nice for my teacher. So one morning before school, she's outside and she picks a few apple blossoms. Enough to hold in one hand, and she was gonna give it to her teacher. She's gonna love this. She carries them all the way to school. And when it's time, she walks up to her teacher's desk. I got these for you. Now you would think the teacher would be like, oh my goodness, thank you. But where'd you get these? From a tree? Well, that's when the teacher snaps. You pulled these from somebody's tree in their yard. You stole them. No, I didn't. No, I don't want to hear a single word from you. I'm tearing these flowers up. I'm throwing them away. You need to learn about rules, young lady. This is disgraceful. Sit down. Absolutely heartbreaking. This girl just wanted to do something nice and the teacher flipped out. Later that day during recess, her older sibling finds her. She was crying alone. Oh my God, what happened? She explains the situation. Well, he was ticked off. He storms inside and he yells at that teacher. What'd you say to my sister? She was trying to do something nice for you today. You know where she got those flowers? From our backyard. Yeah, the flowers were their family's. She didn't steal them from anybody. The older brother then got a detention for yelling at a teacher, but he doesn't care because the way that teacher treated his little sister was unacceptable. That's a good brother. That's a bad teacher. This kid didn't talk until he was 5. And when he finally did start talking, he barely said anything. His vocabulary was only like 20 words, and he only talked when he was spoken to. And everyone already thought he was the weird kid. Well, one day, this kid is sitting outside of his house when his 10-year-old neighbor walks by. And the 10-year-old neighbor is a legit genius. He actually ends up graduating high school at 12 years old. But he walks up to this 5-year-old who barely talks and he says to him, the answer to every question is observing. First of all, I have no idea what the heck that means, but the kid listened. Oh. He takes it very seriously and very literally. From that day on, every single question he gets asked gets the same answer. Okay, you. What is 2 times 2? Observing. What do you want for dinner, son? Observing. Okay, and how are you feeling today? Observing. At this point, people are freaking out. People made meetings, there was counselors and therapists involved. For almost an entire year, the only thing that this kid would say is observing. Eventually, after a few years of therapy, he began talking like a normal person. But hey, that's kind of hilarious. This kid had a fish allergy, and he always told his mom, "Mom, I can't eat fish, I'm allergic." And he's not like die allergic, but if he has fish, he'll get sick. Headaches, vomiting, but his mom refuses to believe him. "No, you're not. Eat the fish." She would force him to eat the fish, saying that he's not allergic, and then when he does eat it and gets sick, she gets annoyed. "Oh my God, you're dramatic. Clean up after yourself." Well, one night, the mom's hosting a big dinner party. This kid is 9 years old. Everybody's eating. His mom hands him a fish fillet in front of all the guests. "Here you go, sweetie. Eat this. Let me know how it is." "Mom, I told you I can't eat fish." "That's not true. That's not true, everybody. Eat the fish." That's when the kid realized, okay, I'm gonna eat the fish. He eats the fish. Everybody's watching. 10 minutes later, he walks back into the kitchen. "Oh, did you like the fish? You want more, I bet, huh?" "No, Mom, I..." Pukes all over the mom and the table. The guests are shocked. "Oh my God, clean up an aisle fish." "Milk." Now you can see it in the mom's face. She wants to explode. Kid's like, "Do it, Mom. Everyone will see who you really are." But the mom can't. Not in front of all her guests. So she flips. "Oh, my poor baby. I think you are allergic to fish. Let me go put you to bed." She then takes him upstairs and tucks him in and joins the party again. And from that day on, she never made him eat fish ever again. Hey, kid's a genius. There was a school in Florida that tried to monetize the bathroom. It's so messed up. They gave every student 3 restroom credits a month. And if you ran out, each additional restroom credit was $5 each. This is insane. The principal called it time management training, which didn't make any sense. It's more like a human rights violation. Well, that's when a student named Marcus, what's up, realized that the school just created the most valuable currency on campus. "Okay, I got 2 credits left. I'll trade them for your pre-calc answers and your lunch." "Okay, cool, yeah, deal." Marcus became this bladder broker of sorts. "Hey bro, you never pee, right?" "No, just once before school and once at night." "I'll buy your credits off you." He would either trade these credits or sell them to students who were having an emergency for a massive markup. Now the crazy part is, he began trading, buying, and selling these credits very obviously in front of teachers in the hallway, because his plan was to get caught. So when the principal did catch on, "Marcus, I know what you're doing." "Oh, you do you? You cannot be trading, buying, or selling these bathroom credits." "Well, what are you gonna do about it, huh?" "Oh, well, you're gonna get in big trouble." "No, you're not, because listen up. You got a few options here. You can punish me, but then I'll go to the school board, tell them that you're charging students $5 to use the bathroom. Or you can let me continue and do nothing about it. Or your last and honestly best option, get rid of the credit system. It's a human rights violation, you frickin' idiot." "Out of my office now." By the next morning, the bathroom credit system was gone. And honestly, it was all thanks to Marcus. His name was Frog Boy, and he was the weird kid at this one school. Froggy, Puggy Wuggy. Every single day before class, he would be in the woods behind the school, catching frogs, lizards, and raising tadpoles in a Home Depot bucket. Grow, little tadpoles. Grow into frogs. And every day he would walk into class smelling like pond water. Yo, Frog Boy smells extra froggy today. But in class, he would have so much pent-up energy. He couldn't sit still, and every single teacher knew this. "Kevin, why don't you go take a lap around the school, okay?" "Okay." They would often let him leave school and run around the building and come back to tire himself out. In different classes, other kids would be doing math, and they would look out the window to see Frog Boy running by. 2 + 2 is 6. He would also just do crazy stuff, like one week he super glued all the woodshop tools to the wall. "It's a masterpiece. My tools!" Another week he went into the kitchen and spread flour everywhere. "Looks like it snowed in here. My kitchen!" And it was like that for a long time. Well, fast forward years later. One of his old classmates is at home scrolling through his phone when he stumbles on a viral motocross clip. Yo, that's sick. It's a clip of a guy on a dirt bike going off this huge ramp and doing a backflip. That's when the old classmate realizes, wait,
That's frickin' Frog Boy! Frog Boy was now a professional motocross rider, and he was very rich. I'm just happy he used his energy for something awesome like that. Hey, go Frog Boy. She told him to wash the car, and she gave him a bucket and a sponge. You should be all set. All right, I'm on it, Mom. So he goes outside with the bucket and the sponge. He sets the bucket right next to the car. I'm gonna put you right here. Then he goes to the side of the house and grabs the hose. Okay, got the hose. And he begins dragging the hose over to the bucket by the car. All right. But the hose is not long enough. It doesn't reach. Ah, great. So he turns on the water. Fill this bucket up, but how am I gonna do it? It's gonna launch it from here. And he begins spraying the hose and trying to arch it into this water bucket. Come on. But the bucket keeps tipping over. Come on. Not again. He adjusts his stance. He changes the angle of the hose. He's trying to find the best way to fill this bucket. But this kid didn't realize that he could just take the bucket and bring it to the hose and then bring the bucket back to the car. Like, at no point does that enter his brain. His mom's watching him through the window.
I raised an idiot.
I mean, yeah, kinda. It's March. The school goes into one of those lockdowns where the police bring in these dogs to sniff around the lockers looking for some sort of illegal substances. Every classroom door is locked. There's no bathroom breaks allowed. Well, one kid in this class is visibly unwell. Pale, he's sweating. The teacher notices and goes over to him. What's wrong? The kid whispers back. Do you think the dogs would go to my locker? The teacher kind of pauses. Do you have something to be worried about? Kid nods yes and says,
There's a ham and cheese sandwich in there with extra mayonnaise on it.
The teacher's confused. That's not a problem. You're allowed to have food. The kid says, I know, but it's been in there since September. 6 months. 6 months this sandwich has been in the locker, and the kid is so worried about it, I'm pretty sure that sandwich smelled. This kid wasn't afraid of getting expelled. He was afraid that the dogs were going to uncover this weird biological event that was growing in his locker for 6 months. Luckily for him, the dogs didn't go by his locker and nobody uncovered the sandwich smell. But that teacher never forgot the fear on that kid's face. This English teacher was super chill. Okay guys, late homework can be turned in at any time up until the last week of school. Dude, that's awesome. You can turn your homework in up until the last week of school and I'll take no points off. He figured that this would encourage students to just do their homework at their own pace and do it well. Well, one kid takes advantage of this situation. He doesn't turn in homework all year. Weeks pass, then months. The teacher assumes this kid just dropped the ball and that he's not going to turn it in ever. Until the final week of school. He brings a stack of worksheets and essays to this teacher's desk. And I mean stacks. Oh, right here you go. Yo, what is this? It's late homework. Remember what you said? I also emailed you 6 of the book reports, so those should be in your inbox now. All right, thanks, Teach.
I hate my life.
So now this teacher, on the last week of school, has to grade a crap ton of homework. It's the last thing he wants to do. Oh, I am never doing this ever again. The next year, all right, guys, welcome to class. Homework is due when it's due. There is no exceptions for late work. Dang, that kid ruined it for everybody. This is wild. So this couple lives in an old house. Winter hits and the mice show up. And this is pretty normal. She has a full operation to catch these mice every single year. She has mouse traps hidden everywhere. She checks them twice a day and they're constantly being reloaded. And the bait she uses? Peanut butter. The mice love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. At first, they only had one peanut butter jar that they used. And for every trap, she would use a clean knife. So she would go in, set the trap, throw this knife into the sink, grab a new knife, take the peanut butter, set the trap, watch that one. So she's never double dipping the mice knife into the peanut butter so it doesn't get contaminated. It's too many dishes, it's too much work, but then she finds this peanut butter jar in the cabinet, the kind that her husband hates. Hey, I found this peanut butter jar in the cabinet. Do you mind if I use it for the mouse traps?
Yeah, it's totally fine.
She writes in the lid in big letters, mouse only. She puts it on the sides as well. It's impossible to miss. And now she was finally able to double dip the knife in the peanut butter to set the traps. So this peanut butter is now fully contaminated with like mice cooties. Well, weeks later, her husband's eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He calmly says, you know, I really don't like creamy peanut butter. She freezes. Which jar did you use? That one. The frickin' mouse jar. That's the peanut butter I use to set the mouse traps. It is 100% contaminated. He loses his frickin' mind.
I'm losing my frickin' mind right now.
That's disgusting. He says she should have hidden this jar. How would he know that it was for the mice? Because I wrote mouse only all over it. She points out that he agreed to this. It was labeled, and he ignored everything. He was angry at her for weeks, but she did nothing wrong. This one is on him.
In this house, the entire family did something crazy. Every night, an alarm went off at 2 a.m. School nights, weekdays, holidays, it did not matter. Everyone had an alarm, and when it rang, you got up. You would then head down to the kitchen.
Your milk.
Once everybody was down there, the lights would turn on and the fridge would open, and the entire family would just grab stuff they wanted to eat. Didn't matter. Leftovers, cereal, meatballs, whatever existed in the fridge was free game at 2 a.m. Then they would sit around the table, half asleep, and eat whatever snacks they had. And they talked about nothing. And after about 15 to 20 minutes, they all went back to bed every single day. 10 p.m. they would sleep, 2 a.m. kitchen, morning, work, and school. And this kid, he never questioned it because he thought that that's just how families work. Well, when he slept over at a friend's house for the first time, he set his alarm for 2 a.m. And when it went off, he went down to the kitchen. And nobody was there. He waited there for about 6 minutes, but nobody came down. I've been waiting here for about 6 minutes, but nobody's coming down. So he just goes back to bed, and in the morning, he brings it up to his friend. And his friend thought he was crazy. Well, yeah. This guy says that even now, years later, sometimes he will randomly wake up at 2 a.m., like his body's trying to get him to go to the kitchen. Just an instinct. And sometimes he does go down there and grabs a snack. That's nice.
Every single dog in the neighborhood knew this kid, even the mean ones. This kid made it a point. Every afternoon he would walk the neighborhood, stopping at every fence of every house that had a dog. Small dogs, big dogs, mean dogs, dogs with the sign, "Do not pet." The ones that would bark nonstop, the ones that would continuously growl. He would go to each one. He would crouch, he would talk to them softly, bring them pieces of ham or chicken or turkey. "Hey, you're a big mean dog, are you? Hey, here's some turkey. Oh, here's some chicken. Yeah. Oh, here's a toy." Day after day, he was earning the respect of these dogs. Some dogs took weeks, some dogs took months, but eventually every single dog knew him and loved him. To the point where whenever he would walk by, the barking and growling would stop, and they would start wagging their tails. Well, one afternoon, this kid is sitting in his front yard. He's carving a little canoe out of a log with a knife. He's focused, like he's some sort of woodsman. It's very nice. This is good cedar. Then he hears it. Heavy paws, deep growling, the rattling of a collar. And he looks up. Down the street, one of the neighborhood's scariest, meanest dogs got loose. And this dog is sprinting towards a neighbor that's walking alone. The neighbor does not know what to do, so he freezes. This kid knows this is freaking bad. This dog is about to attack this guy. So he tries to stop it. He stands up and he yells, "Rufus!" The dog skids to a stop, takes his eyes off the neighbor, and looks at the kid. And immediately the dog is now happy. He jogs past the neighbor, straight to the kid. The kid gives him some turkey and takes him by the collar. He then walks the dog back to his house and knocks on the door. "Hi, so your dog likes me, but he doesn't like everybody. You gotta get him some training. I saved you big time today." Kid then goes back to his yard, sits down, and finishes carving the canoe out of the wood. Like nothing happened. What an absolute legend. One day, this strict teacher stepped into the classroom supply closet. "Class, be quiet. I need to step into the closet really fast." And this closet was pretty tight, really small. So she steps in, and this one kid sneaks up to the closet, slams the door, and locks her in it. "Help me. Somebody help me." At first, everybody was silent, and then they just started laughing. And each student in that classroom left, leaving her locked in the supply closet. Now, I get that she's strict, but this is not something to do to your teacher. An hour later, another teacher heard the screams coming from this empty classroom. She goes in there. "Oh my God, Mrs. Donahue, I'm dying." She let her out, and the teacher that was locked in there just collapsed, shaking, crying on the floor. After that day, she took 2 weeks off, and every single student in that classroom got into huge trouble. Good. This school had a zero tolerance rule, and it sounded fair until kids realized what that actually meant. If a fight happened, everybody involved would get the same punishment. Didn't matter who started it, didn't matter who swung first. If you were involved, it was all the same. And on paper, it was supposed to stop the bullying. In reality, it did the opposite. The bullies figured it out fast. They'd corner somebody, shove them, taunt them, and then they would say the same thing. "Go ahead, hit me, loser. You're getting in trouble regardless." But you won't. And the victims, they learned the lesson as well. If they stayed still and took the beating, they'd be punished. If they would fight back, they'd also be punished. It was the same outcome. So something changed. kids who usually froze stopped freezing. If I'm getting in trouble either way, I'm not holding back. Fights stopped becoming these quick one-sided scuffles. They became explosive, unpredictable. One day, a bully was picking on this kid he normally does. Idiot, loser, freak. And the kid that he was bullying went feral, shoved him so hard he fell through the classroom window. One fight was so nuts, it took 5 staff members to break it up. And this was all because of the zero tolerance rules. These kids that were picked on were not holding back anymore. They're like, screw this, I'm not taking it if I'm gonna get in trouble as well. The school administration eventually started to panic. The rule meant to stop violence made it more extreme. They then changed the rule back to what it was before this, but it was never really the same after that. That's nuts. It started with strawberry milk. Cafeteria strawberry milk. Everyone knew this one kid loved it. I freaking love it. So one day, his friend group makes a deal. All right, so for every strawberry milk carton you finish, we'll all pay you $1. $1 per milk? Easy. So kids start sliding in these strawberry milk cartons across the table, and now he's got a bunch in front of him. Guys, this is gonna be awesome. I love strawberry milk. The first carton goes down easy. The second carton, still good. Third carton, confidence is growing. I got this. All right, it's $3 so far, man. By the time lunch is halfway over, there's a crowd forming around him, cheering for him. Come on, man, you got this. That's really impressive. Milk. That's $15 so far, man. The kid keeps drinking. The money keeps stacking. Carton number 18. He stops in his tracks. Silence. And then it happens. A violent, unstoppable stream of neon pink vomit explodes across the lunch table, covering trays, shoes, people's faces. Everyone begins to scatter, running away from this horrible scene. He got to keep the money. But ever since that day, he has not been able to drink milk ever again, and strawberry milk was his favorite. It's kind of sad. When this kid was 5, his parents convinced him that if he didn't do chores or he didn't help them around the house, the lazy monster would get him and he would die. It's true. Just straight up death. So he goes into survival mode. Every day, whenever he has free time, he's sweeping, dusting, reorganizing, folding laundry, and his parents loved it. They're sitting there chilling and their 6-year-old kid is doing the house chores. And this happens for years. Years later, he's 11 now, tells his friends about the lazy monster. Yeah, I can't hang out because I gotta go wash the bathroom, otherwise the lazy monster is gonna get. His friends are like, what? He explains more. Then his friends say, dude, that's actually crazy that you believe that. Your parents are tricking you, dude. And it clicked. His entire worldview collapses, and he immediately feels like he wasted years of his life. He storms home and he demands his parents tell him why they did this. And all they could say was, you'll get over it. That's definitely not okay. So this one dude in this one class was huge. Tall, wide, and the way he would eat food was an operation. I know what I like. He would show up to class with a full row of cookies, 20-something, and he would stack them perfectly on one side of his desk. Then the system began. He would take one bite from the top cookie and put it to the right side of his desk. The next cookie, one bite, then on top of the cookie that's on the right side of his desk. Then the next, down the entire row. Each cookie with exactly one bite out of it, stacked on top of each other. When the whole tower has migrated to the right side, he didn't stop. He would just restart the cycle. A new bite off the top cookie moved to the left side of the desk. Then the other one. A new bite, then stacked on top of the cookie on the left side of the desk. Do you get what I'm saying here? Cookie, bite, stack, cookie, bite, stack. And he keeps restarting this process. Well, 15 minutes of rhythmic biting and stacking later, the entire tower of cookies was just gone. Desk wiped clean, 0 crumbs, like it never happened in the first place. And obviously, everyone in class saw him do this, but it was so strange and so weird that nobody ever said anything to him. That's nuts. Have you ever dissected a pig heart? Well, this one biology class did. Everyone in there, goggles on, little scalpels, and there was an extra supply of pig hearts sitting on one of the counters. Well, one kid, as they were leaving, grabbed a pig heart and put it in his pocket. Then his friend grabbed a pig heart and put it in his pocket. half the class is stuffing these cold, nasty pig hearts into their pockets, backpacks, and duffel bags. It was absolutely disgusting. Then, after school, behind the field house, a crowd gathers. There's 2 rows of kids, each of them with a pig heart in their hand. Positions 3, 2, 1, begin. And just like that, this group of kids were playing dodgeball with biology class pig hearts that they were supposed to dissect. And it was, a mess. Pig hearts hitting kids in the face, splattering on the pavement. It was looking like a scene from a bad horror film. Eventually, the school officials came outside, saw what was going on, and each and every one of these kids were suspended for a week. I can honestly say I have never played pig heart dodgeball in my life. Would I? Maybe. You ever wonder why schools randomly ban like pot Cheetos or Takis? There's always a reason, and at this one school, that reason was, let's call him Marcus, the 7th grade snack kingpin. Marcus had snacks. He was running an entire operation. Backpack loaded like a frickin' vending machine. Takis, Sour Patch, mini Gatorades, all marked up 200%, and people bought them. Business was absolutely booming. And it wasn't just him in this operation. He had runners. Kids in different grades moving products between different classes. He would even bring backup hoodies to school. He would change them throughout the day, so security cameras would think it's different people doing different things. He made enough money in 3 months to buy 2 pairs of brand new Jordans. Never used Venmo, only cash. But here's how he got caught. One of his runners sold Capri Sun to a diabetic kid and told him it was sugar-free, which is absolutely messed up. The kid's blood sugar spiked, the nurses got involved. The school asked him where he got it from, and this kid spilled. The entire operation crumbled. Marcus was suspended for 1 week. School banned all sorts of snacks. After that, it was like this business operation never existed. But if you went into the boys' bathroom, in stall number 3, written in small letters on the door, was the snack prices. You gotta respect the hustle.
He graduated 8th grade. I freaking did it. And his school gave him a free meal card for Cane's.
I love Cane's.
It was his golden ticket. He guarded it like it was a national treasure. But the thing is, whenever he was driving home or to somewhere with his mom, he would always ask, "Mom, I'm hungry. Can I please use my Cane's card now?" She would say, "No, sweetie, because it's only for 1 Cane's meal. What about your siblings? They'll feel left out." "Well, I can use the card and you can pay for their meals." You think I made the money? The card has lived in his wallet, unused, waiting. Then one day, he goes into his wallet to look at it. It's gone, and he wasn't the one that used it. So now it's a full-blown investigation. He goes downstairs. "Where's my Cane's card? Did somebody use my Cane's card?" His little sister said, no. But he said in that moment, he began to smell the sauce. So he looks in the garbage can.
Cane's box. You?
His little sister cracks instantly. "I went to a doctor's appointment today, and Mom took me to Cane's. She used her card. She grabbed it out of your wallet last night." His mom came home, and she didn't really have a reason why she did this. This kid was heartbroken. The betrayal was biblical. He didn't talk to his mom for weeks after that. That's messed up, dude.
Secret Santa Day. The rule, you pick a name, you don't say the name you picked. Teacher's walking around with a basket. Everyone picks a name. All right, pick and shh. Pick and shh. Good. Pick and shh. After everybody picked, this one girl asked another girl, "Who'd you get?" And for some reason, this girl completely forgets the whole point of this. And she says, "I picked Tyler." And this is where this all just crumbles. Tyler's head shoots up. "What? Kayla's my Secret Santa? Dude, I'm cooked. She's gonna give me a horrible gift." "Well, who do you have?" "I got Billy." "Nice." At this point, the whole system collapses. Everyone's telling each other who they got, and then the teacher got mad, and then everyone else got mad, and they blamed it on the original girl, Kayla, who said she had Tyler. So if it wasn't for her, this might have gone smoothly. But it didn't. Hey, happy holidays. In 8th grade, there was a social studies teacher that never gave homework. Like ever. And she was universally loved for it. Then one random Tuesday, she assigns the class homework. And the next day, nobody turned it in. Not one person. And she just detonates. "Well, I bet you all did your math homework last night, didn't you? Because everyone respects math. Who cares about social studies?" Everyone's like, what the heck is going on? Then, without warning, she steps on a desk, grabs the overhead projector, tears it down, and slams it on the floor. She grabs her keys, walks out the door, and she never returns for the rest of the school year. That's absolute nuts.
When he was 7, he did something so dumb. It was a public swimming pool. Family locker room, wet floors, benches everywhere. This kid's in there and he notices something sitting under a bench. What is it? It's a thumbtack, just sitting there. Nobody was around, nobody was paying attention. Instead of picking this up and throwing it away, he takes it and places it pointy side up right in the middle of the floor. Then he goes away. About 30 minutes pass. Families keep moving in and out of the locker, bare feet, and he starts to think to himself, maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe somebody could get hurt. So he goes back, but he's way too late. Oh no. Oh, Mom, I'm bleeding. A kid had stepped right on it, and his foot was bleeding. Oh my God, what a horrible person would do something like this. The kid never said a word. He just stood there, panicking internally. You'll be okay, son. Whoever did this is a complete and utter idiot. I mean, yeah, that's pretty messed up. There was a kid named Ian who was the shortest kid in elementary school. The bullies loved making fun of him. Hey, short stack, what's the weather like down there?
Bruh.
One night he came home and he sat at the kitchen table and he talked to his dad. Dad, they won't leave me alone. His dad didn't tell him to ignore it. His dad didn't call to school. Ian, come with me. I want to show you something. They go downstairs and Ian realizes that this corner of the basement wasn't used for storage. There was a punching bag there, a full boxing setup, gloves, wraps, a speed bag, a heavy bag, like a mini gym in this corner of their basement. Whoa. Son, you're gonna train. You're not gonna train to hurt them. You train so you don't feel so helpless. So Ian starts practicing every day, day after day, and he's getting pretty good. Then, one day in the cafeteria, Ian's carrying his lunch. He walks past the bully's table and he tries to ignore them. One of the bullies steps up and smacks the tray into his face. Food everywhere, milk dripping down his shirt. Everybody's laughing at him. And then Ian snaps. He puts his tray down calmly, walks straight up to that bully, pops him right in the face. Then another one. Clean, quick punches. The bully's stunned. He falls down. He's like, all right, stop. All right, stop. Ian walks away. He's taken to the office and he's suspended for a whole week. But nobody messed with him ever again. He never had to use his boxing skills ever again. But he knows he has them. And if he has to use them, he will respect.
This would happen across the school every single day. Different classrooms, different floors, but every day at exactly 12:17 p.m. Can I use the bathroom? 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 Nothing suspicious. Not really a pattern that these teachers could put together very easily because, like I said, they were each in a different classroom. But here's what nobody knew. At the far end of the school, in the quiet bathroom nobody ever uses, these kids would go and run full-blown underground Beyblade battles. Every day after they released from the classroom, they would sprint to this bathroom. And when they would get there, they would let it frickin' rip. They had a few of those classic plastic Beyblade arenas, and they were just going to town. They would put money on it as well. Come on, I got 20 bucks on this. You're totally gonna lose, bro. Milk! Doesn't that sound frickin' awesome? They had a blast. I would love this. Well, more and more people were kind of told about this, and more students began joining. And eventually, it became this kind of thing. They were caught and shut down forever. But nobody forgot about that. The random bathroom Beyblade battles at 12:17 p.m. every day. That's awesome.
When she was in second grade, her older sister got glasses, and instantly she wanted a pair of glasses as well. So she told her parents.
I can't see the board at school.
So they take her to the eye doctor. He does a test, and she's pretending like she can't see. 2 minutes in, he says, yeah, she's lying. She can see fine. But her parents still believed her. And they're like, no, you better give her some glasses. He writes a prescription, and just like that, a week later, her glasses are ready. At first, she loved them, even though she couldn't really see in them because, well, she lied during that test. But she loved the frames, she loved the attention she was getting, but she kept wearing them for years. And her eyes kept adjusting to the prescription, and the prescription kept getting stronger and stronger. We'll flash forward 10 years, and now every day she wears a pair of the thickest glasses because she actually can barely see without them now. And she's pretty sure it's because back in second grade, she lied when taking the eye test, and she ruined her eyesight forever. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
It started stupidly small. He's in his yard and he sees a single crow staring at him. What's up, crow? And he went inside and got a cracker, then tossed this one crow a cracker. Well, that's it. That's the moment his life changed forever. Because the next morning, there's 3 crows waiting. Yo, there's 3 of you now. All right, here, 3 crackers. The next morning, there's 9 crows. Oh my God. A full-on crowd of crows waiting for their daily crackers every single morning. And it doesn't just stop there. If he walks to his car, they follow him. If he walks his dog, they're behind him, flying over or hopping on the sidewalk. Every so often, they would drop gifts to him, like a shiny gum wrapper, or a twig, or an apple core, like gifts. Oh, thank you for the Slim Jim. I appreciate it. Then he realizes he's the leader of the crows. Every day they're there. They think of him like their mother. And he can't even take the trash out without crows surrounding him like Secret Service. It's absolutely insane. This is insane. So this one school's cafeteria used real silverware, actual metal forks, knives, and metal spoons. And every day after lunch, kids are supposed to take the silverware and put it in these tubs right next to the garbage can so the school can wash them. But over the course of like 5 months, the school began noticing their supply of spoons was dwindling. What in the world is happening to our spoons? The lunch staff thought the kids were accidentally throwing these spoons in the garbage. So they began making announcements and posters.
Attention students, make sure you put the silverware back in the tubs. Don't throw them away.
But it didn't stop. You're missing hundreds more spoons now, guys. Hundreds? Nobody had any clue what the heck was happening because it wasn't a whole school issue. It was one kid. Every day at lunch, he would pocket a spoon or 2 or 3, but never more than 4 a day. Not for a plan or a prank. He was just like collecting them. I like spoons. He kept them inside his locker in a flimsy grocery bag hanging from the hook. Months go by. The bag gets heavier and heavier. The plastic grocery bag stretches thinner and thinner. Then one morning before first period, as the hallway is packed and it's loud, he swings open his locker and the bag finally gives out. It rips straight down the middle and hundreds of metal spoons start pouring out of his locker onto the floor. And the sound is insane, like someone dropped an incredibly heavy toolbox down a flight of stairs. Once they all fall, he just stands there staring at the pile on the hallway floor. It's the end of an era. Within 5 minutes, the entire school knew what had been happening with the spoons. He got into big trouble. The rest of that year, they called him Spoon Kid, and he was kind of a legend. Gotta respect Spoon Kid. This class did not want to take this test. So they faked a police phone call. Senior year was advanced chemistry. Only 13 students in this class. It's test day. Everybody's stressed. So they come up with a plan. Before the test starts, the valedictorian raises his hand. Can I go to the bathroom really quick, please? Boom, he's allowed to go. Instead of the bathroom, he goes to this old private stairwell, and he calls the front office. Hi, this is Officer Johnson from the police department. I need to talk to the chemistry teacher, please. The front office panics, calls the teacher down. Oh, okay. Be back, students. The teacher grabs the keys, leaves the room. The second he's gone, the class moves around like a pit crew. They blow up balloons. They pull out a grocery store birthday cake. Streamers. Party hats on everybody. Full birthday setup in under 2 minutes. Meanwhile, in the office, hello? Blah, 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 Mickey Mouse. And he sprints back to the classroom. The teacher then walks back into the classroom. They all shout, surprise! Happy birthday! The teacher is then like, that is so nice, but it's not my birthday. But it didn't matter. The cake gets cut, everyone eats it, and the test gets postponed 1 week. That is absolutely brilliant. This teacher's bogus for this. One morning in this class, everyone was supposed to present these dioramas, and these kids had spent a lot of time on these. They're all lined up on tables. Castles, volcanoes, rainforests. The entire room looks like an art fair. Well, then one kid starts messing around, weaving between tables, being kind of reckless, and then, bam, he stumbles onto someone's project. Oh, crunch. The trees snap in half, clay figures all across the floor. This kid's diorama was completely ruined. Dude, what are you doing? Wasn't my fault. The teacher walks over, takes one look and says, maybe you should have put it somewhere secure. Now you're not ready for your presentation. What? Let this be a lesson to you. In life, you must always have a backup plan. And that kid failed the assignment, all because some nutcase slammed into it and broke his project. That is not fair, and that teacher is so messed up for this. The first week of school, the vending machines in the hallway were out of order, but one student realized that they weren't broken. The school just wasn't letting anybody use them. Sorry kids, they're fixing them next month. No snacks. No snacks? Oh man. But one day, this junior named Derek saw one of the janitors unlock the machine with this tiny round key. Well, he recognized this silver key. It was the same kind of key his dad used for his padlocks at work. Well, that night, Derek dug through the junk drawers at his house, looking for these keys, and he found about 5 of them. Yes. Yes! The next day, during the passing period, he went to the vending machines. He put the first key in, and it unlocked. Apparently, it was the most basic of these keys, and it worked. He opened it up just enough to grab one snack and put it in his backpack. Well, this gave him a brilliant idea. By the end of the week, he had gone into that vending machine multiple times and only took out the most popular, most tasty snacks. And because these vending machines had been broken for so long, nobody really noticed, and there weren't any cameras in the hallway. Well, he would take these popular snacks and he would sell them for double the price of what the vending machine would have sold them for. Yo, bro, you always have the best snacks. Where do you get them? Don't worry about it, Chief. Don't worry about it. By the time the school fixed the vending machines, Derek had made a good chunk of change, and nobody ever realized that those snacks were taken. Now that is crazy, and you gotta respect the hustle. This school sold popcorn every Friday. Plain, no butter, no seasoning, just small, sad bags for $1. Well, one day, this kid Tyler shows up with a frickin' plan. He brings a small lunchbox to lunch, and inside, dozens of mini popcorn seasoning shakers. Ranch, nacho cheese, cinnamon sugar, literally anything. Hey, yo, can I use that, man? Totally, homie. $0.25 per shake. Now, at first, people thought this was kind of ridiculous. $1.25 for one shake of popcorn seasoning? But once people started trying it, it was game frickin' over. He would stand on top of the lunch tables, shaking seasonings into people's popcorn bags while kids are sliding and throwing him quarters. It was kind of bussin'. And Tyler wouldn't just stop there. If somebody was broke, he would say, I season it for you now, you bring me $0.25 tomorrow. Or else, I'm writing your name down. I don't forget. By the end of the month, all the popcorn was seasoned to perfection thanks to Tyler. One day, Tyler is counting out $20 in quarters when the principal comes up to him and says, we do not run seasoning businesses in this lunchroom. You're done. And he was shut down. You gotta respect the hustle, though. In 8th grade, this art teacher had a locked cabinet in the back of the room. It was kind of mysterious. She never talked about it. But once a week, she would go back there, unlock it, take out a small handful of things, and walk away. Kids would whisper, wondering what's inside. Is it expensive paints? Ancient artifacts? Animals? Well, one semester, this student named Riley was picked to stay after school one day to help clean some stuff up. The teacher leaves the room for 5 minutes, and that cabinet key is just sitting there on the desk. So he opens it slow and carefully.
Opening it slow and carefully.
Inside were stacks and stacks of goldfish cracker boxes. No art supplies, no ancient masterpieces, just enough frickin' goldfish crackers to feed a small country. When the teacher comes back in, Riley asks, Cabinet goldfish! Why? Oh, it's my favorite snack. I take one handful per class.
And I just munch on them. I love them.
It was just her own personal snack cabinet. Who would have thought? One day in history class, this teacher just frickin' lost it. He'd been on edge all week about kids' backpacks being in the aisles. He kept tripping over them. If I see one more backpack sticking out, we're gonna have a frickin' problem. Well, the next day, he sees one. He stops teaching and says this. All right, every one of you, backpacks in front of my desk right now. People are confused, but they start dragging him up and leaving their backpacks in front of his desk. Then he stands up, goes to the first backpack, unzips it, and then dumps the entire thing on the floor. Books, homework, snacks all fall out into this one messy pile. Yo, dude, that's my stuff. What are you doing? Shut your mouth. And one by one, he goes down the line, dumping out everybody's stuff into the same pile. Hey, what are you doing? You think I'm kidding? You think this is some frickin' joke? By the end, there's a mountain of student stuff covering half the classroom floor. Some kid takes a picture. Parents start calling the school before the day's even over. And the next morning, there's a substitute in his seat. Apparently, that was the last straw. And that teacher was fired. Hey, that's kind of messed up. Okay, listen to this. At this school, the water bottles in the cafeteria were sold for $3, but they were small and always warm. The only other option was the water fountains in the hallways, and those were absolutely disgusting.
Oh my god, it's green. That's disgusting.
The spouts were green, the water came out warm, and every time it tasted like pennies. That's when this dude named Ryan showed up with a plan. One day, he walks into school with a giant cooler bag and 2 of those big water jugs that were used to refill bottles.
Cold water, 50 cents to fill your bottle.
Well, turns out most kids didn't have a water bottle. So what Ryan did was he stopped charging people to fill their waters and instead sold reusable water bottles himself. For $3 each. The second you bought a water bottle, you were in the system and you could get your water filled. Pretty soon, Ryan set up at lunch with 4 water jugs in this giant cooler bag and he's refilling everybody's water bottle. Kids, teachers, everybody. People were skipping the nasty water fountains and going straight for Ryan's ice-cold filtered water. And months later, by the time the school had actually replaced the water fountains with nicer ones, Ryan had made $400. And the entire school was carrying around the water bottles that he sold. What a genius. You gotta respect the hustle. This Spanish teacher had a rule. If you forget your pencil, you would have to borrow one from her supply cup and pay her back with a brand new one the next day. But she would always make sure to embarrass you because of it. Well, 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 look who's unprepared again today. Little baby Kyle boy. All right, here, you can have a pencil, but bring me back the new one. Okay? What is wrong with you? Well, this kid named Marcus shows up to school one day with a bag full of sharpened, brand new pencils. And he would sell them. One pencil, 50 cents. No need to pay the teacher back with a brand new pencil the next day, and no public shaming. So that's kind of a win. Pretty soon, it's not just the Spanish class he is selling to. He made little flyers and he passed them around the school. And pretty soon, people were texting him, ordering pencils. Whenever they forgot one, he was the guy they would go to. Just 50 cents. Well, it got popular. Business was booming. So he upped his game a little bit. He had a premium package with the highest quality mechanical pencils you could imagine. He bought them in bulk, so they were pretty cheap, and he would charge $2 per mechanical pencil. And people were buying those as well. He was selling out every time. Eventually, Marcus had an incredibly loyal customer base and a bunch of single-dollar bills in a shoebox under his bed. You gotta respect Marcus, and you gotta respect the hustle. The locker was jammed. 3 different kids tried the combo. It wasn't working. A teacher comes up, tries to figure it out, nothing. That's when one sophomore stands there, looks, and says, "Step aside." He doesn't even glance at the paper that has the combo on it. He just stares at the lock for a second, pulls out a paper clip, and goes to town. Boom. First try, it opens. Oh my god, finally, thank you. That was actually awesome, dude. Now, this was the first day of school, so the hallways were hectic. Everyone trying to get in their lockers. There's books, papers, book bags everywhere. Well, he just turns around and says, "Anybody else?" 5 minutes later, he's walking the halls like some kind of locksmithing expert. He's opening jammed lockers left and right, even helping teachers open their cabinets. Jammed? There you go. Jammed? There you go. He quickly became the locker guy. Turns out his older brother and his dad had their own locksmithing company, so he literally grew up opening locks. No rules broken, no locks damaged, just a nice guy helping people out. And you gotta respect it. It's kind of sad. There's this freshman kid at a new school. He's smart, he's quiet, but he's convinced that the only way people will like him is if he gives them something. So he gives everything. Answers for worksheets, extra help on projects. He does other people's homework to make it easier on them. People thank him in the moment and they're grateful, but that's about it. Nobody actually wants to hang out with him. One day after school, he's venting to his mom. "People only talk to me when I give them something, and then they never want to hang out with me," saying stuff like how he thought he had friends, but it turns out he actually has none. She listens and then blurts out words without even thinking. "Well, maybe they don't hang out with you because you're basically a doormat." A doormat? He goes quiet and nods, and he goes to his room and he cries himself to sleep. That's sad, dude. Genius. So this kid had leftover candy from Halloween. Suckers, sweets, stuff like that. And at first he brought a little bag to school to share with his friends. But then other kids started asking, "Yo, let me get a little taste. Do you have that ding dong?" More and more kids started asking him for his candy or his treats. So he flips a switch and turned it into a business. He calls it the 25-cent store. Every item's a quarter. Well, he makes about $50 in a week. So he reinvests this money. He goes to the dollar store. He buys bags and bags of candy and brings it back to school. He raises prices and he keeps selling. All right, brand new inventory, but this time it's 75 cents each. But it's worth it, I promise. And still, he sells out. From that batch, he ends up making $144. And he's not done. He still has more product. And he plans to invest this money. But then a teacher comes up to him. "Excuse me, why are kids handing you quarters?" Hi. That's what I thought. That teacher shut him down. It was over. The thing is, it was a harmless business, and people actually liked this service. Teachers just don't like kids to succeed these days, huh? One Saturday morning, this kid's at a grocery store with his mom. They shop a bit, and now they're in the cashier line. "Oh, sweetie, I forgot to get a gallon of milk. Can you go get one for me, please?" "Sure, Mom." It's a simple job, so he goes, he gets the milk, and he's jogging back to the cashier. Well, right when he gets there, he trips, the jug falls out of his hand, and the milk spills everywhere. Under carts, onto shoes, people are so mad, he has no idea how to respond to this. This kid has anxiety. So what he does is he gets down on all fours, and he tries to scoop it up. But why would that work? He has nowhere to put it. Then this kid freaks out, and he tries to lick it off the floor like he's a freaking house cat. His mom was so stunned she couldn't even speak. Finally, this old guy came over. He had a mop. Kid, move. I'll clean the milk. Mom was so embarrassed, she didn't even buy anything. She left all of her items at the belt, and she left the store with her kid. That's wild. This kid ran a pop-up shop in his school. Not every day, not on a schedule, just randomly. One week he would show up with bags of candy. Next week he would have a pair of shoes he outgrew, and some Pokemon cards. One week he had a Bluetooth speaker, 2 Jimmy John subs he didn't eat that he got the day before, a Labubu, a brand new pencil case, and king-size Kit Kat bars. And whenever he decided, today's the day, his friends knew the drill. Their job was to take the printed out sheets and to paste them all around the school. These posters would say stuff like, pop-up store, band hallway, 12:15 p.m. No items, no prices, it's just a mystery, so people would show up, and they would wonder what he had that day. He'd open his backpack, he would lay everything out on the floor in front of him, like a frickin' street vendor, and he would just begin selling these things. Candy gone, shoes sold, Labubus flying off the shelf. When the inventory ran out, he would pack up and go back to class or something. He would tear the posters down, and he would disappear until the next random day that he felt like doing this. He made $350 in 3 weeks, until the principal finally connected the dots, saw the poster one day, went to the meeting spot, and shut this all down for good. But hey, you gotta respect the hustle.
This kid finds a wallet while he's walking into school, right there in the grass. Yo, wallet. He opens it. $500 in cash. Crisp. It's taunting him. His brain goes into panic mode. I want it. I mean, of course I want it. But it's not right. What do I do? I'll hold on to it for now. I'll decide later. So he puts the money back inside the wallet, he puts the wallet into his backpack, and he spends the next 2 periods sweating like he's hiding a frickin' body. In 3rd period, there's a substitute. I will be your sub today. He says something. I'm having a rough day, guys. I lost my wallet before school this morning, so let's just get through class. Kyle's soul leaves his body. He's thinking to himself, I could just keep it. He'll never know I have it. But he knows it's wrong. And then he thinks, wait, if I turn it in, he might be so happy he'll give me some of the money. Yeah, that's probably the better idea, right? Hey, I found this outside school today. Pretty sure it's yours. The sub doesn't really do anything. He snatches that wallet out of his hands. Go take your seat. Okay. And that was that. He didn't get any money, but at least he did the right thing, right?
So, this kid gets invited to a birthday party by accident. Oh boy. Oh nice, I'm invited. He has the same name as the kid who was supposed to be invited. So, on the day of the party, he shows up to the door holding a gift. Oh, hey, you're not the one we were supposed to invite. Oh, honey, we can just let him stay, right? No, I think he should probably leave. It's okay, I'll go. Right as he turns away and was about to leave, he hears a voice from the hallway. There's a problem. This dude steps out of the bathroom. He's pale. The toilet's clogged, and it's clogged bad. The dad's like, no, don't worry, I'll handle it. Just give me a minute or two. No, like, the water's rising, and it won't stop. At this point, the kids and the parents are swarming the hallway. They're watching this water rise slowly, about to overflow. Parents are panicking, kids are screaming. The dad rushes in and he tries plunging. It's not working. He flushes again. Horrible idea. Water now begins to spill over. Oh my God, get the towels. Now the shy kid that was invited on accident watches all this happen, and then he says, everybody stop, give me a minute. He goes to the kitchen. He grabs a large spoon, like this super long ladle. He takes the plunger from the dad. He goes into the bathroom and he shuts the door. He was in there for 5 minutes. Everyone's sitting outside waiting. It's completely silent. All you hear is swishing and plunging. What's happening? Milk. After 5 minutes, he steps out, calm, completely unfazed. We're good. Toilet's fine. Everything's settled. And I cleaned the floor as well. Hold on. Let me see. Wow. The dad tests the toilet. It works. And it's spotless in here. And everyone starts cheering. The kid's then like, all right, I guess I'll go now. No, you're staying. You're a freaking legend. The kid stayed and they had a great time. He made a lot of new friends that day. And he really did leave a legend. Warfare at the winter dance. At this one school, there was this kid named Evan. Yo, quiet, organized, he got straight A's. And this year, he finally had this big job. He was gonna plan the entire winter dance. And this guy had ideas. Lighting cues, playlist drafts, themed decorations. He had a binder filled with these ideas. He presents his ideas to the student government. So, what do you think? And this one girl named Kelsey grabs the binder, flips through it, and goes, yeah, no. This is ugly. Then she throws it straight into the trash can. You're done. I'll be taking it from here. And she does. She takes over everything. And Evan gets pushed to the side like an unpaid intern. He's very upset. The only thing Evan was allowed to do was run the technical side of things that night. And that included the fog machines. Fog machines that basically run on a water-based formula. Fog machines sit on the table, unguarded. So Evan shows up to the dance. Second it starts, he goes by the fog machines. He opens all of the tanks and he dumps a full bottle of pure peppermint extract into each of the fog machine tanks. The second the lights go down, he turns every fog machine to max. Dancing starts, the DJ's playing the tunes, the fog was beginning to thicken, and before you know it, the gym turns into a pure peppermint hurricane. My eyes. Kids coughing, eyes burning, teachers screaming. The principal's like, chemical leak, everyone get out. The fire alarm gets pulled, the dance evacuates. And now half the school is standing outside in the freezing cold. Who did this? This was my dance. Evan, crazy enough, didn't try to hide it. Yeah, but it was my dance first. Evan wasn't suspended. He was expelled. When the janitors cleaned the gym the next day, the peppermint was still so strong, they all had to wear goggles. And the smell lingered in that gym for literal years. That is insane. This kid and his mom and dad were kayaking one day and they get home late. They park at the lake house and they leave the kayak strapped to the top of the car. Nobody thought twice about it. Well, this kid is waking up at 3 a.m. His dad's creeping into his room. Dad, what's going on? His dad, peeking out the window, says, shh, don't move. The mom then appears, dead serious. Come on. They head downstairs and the dad gets on the phone with 911.
911, what's your emergency?
And then the front door slams open so hard, the entire house hears it, and the mom's voice blasts. Drop that kayak right now! The kid's peeking through the blinds, and there she is, barefoot, standing in the driveway, holding a large butcher knife, screaming at 3 grown men who are literally trying to steal the kayak from the top of the car. They also have knives. The dad sees this happening, and he freaks out. But, hold on, 1 second. Sandy, what are you doing? The mom's out there just slashing this knife around. The 3 thieves freak out, and they run away into the woods. The police finally arrive. So what happened here? Here's a knife. I scared them away. They were trying to steal the kayak. Now talk to my husband. I'm going to bed. And that was that. What a frickin' legend. The school made an announcement.
Redesign the school logo and turn it in. The winner's logo gets to be the official logo.
Every art kid in the school goes feral. People busted out their iPads, sketchbooks. They're working really hard on trying to create this new school logo. But then there's Evan, Shibby. Evan doesn't care. His friend dared him to make something and turn it in. So Evan designs the dumbest thing that he could think of. A circle with a weird looking bird inside of it that looks like it's mid-sneeze. That's so dumb. Here, he submits it. A week later, the principal gets on the school intercom. We have chosen our new school logo. Everyone report to the gym. Everyone goes to the gym. Everyone's eager to see whose logo made it. They did a countdown. 3, 2, 1. And then they projected it. It's Evan's frickin' doodle. The bird, the circle, the sneeze. The whole gym goes dead silent. And then everybody erupts. Oh, Rose a genius. Yo, Evan cooked. Make him class president. Teachers are clapping. They print it out on shirts. It's being sold at the sports games. It's on the website. It's on the gym floor. This logo is everywhere. And Evan becomes an absolute frickin' legend. I'm a frickin' legend. So it was senior prank season, and this one might have been the most beautiful senior prank this school has ever seen. It's the last week of school, and the seniors show up. They've got a ladder, a few backpacks, and they're carrying bags upon bags of something. How much you get? 30 pounds. You're kidding. Nope. 30 pounds of confetti. They sneak into the assembly hall, where the school organ is. Now, the school was about to have an assembly, and for some reason at every single assembly, the music teacher plays the organ. Now, it's a giant old organ with these large pipes, and these pipes stretch up to the ceiling. With the ladder set up, they climb up, and they start pouring confetti straight down each of the organ's pipes. And not just a little confetti, pounds of it, until pretty much every pipe is stuffed. Well, only one teacher is in on it, and that's the music teacher. He gave them the green light because that old organ was being thrown out anyway. But nobody else knows about this, okay? So, 2 hours later, the whole school is crammed in for this assembly. The principal gives his speech, and then the organist starts playing. Whoosh! A cloud of confetti blasts into the air like fireworks while this beautiful organ music is playing. With each note, another explosion of confetti goes off. And now it's like a blizzard. Students are cheering. They're trying to catch it. It's beautiful! But the teachers are really confused. Oh my god, what's happening? What's happening? The principal's standing there looking around like the ceiling just collapsed. Meanwhile, the music teacher is just calmly playing the organ while this crazy storm is happening. It's a beautiful sight. By the end, the floor is covered in confetti, the seats are all buried, and the seniors are just looking around like, wow, we did that. And that was it. That organ never played another note, but that prank went down in school history. If you talk, I'm writing your name down, and you sit alone tomorrow. Understand? At this one small town school, the lunchroom rule was brutal. No talking at all. If you talked, your name went on the small board, and you had to sit alone by yourself at lunch the next day. Well, there was this one menace of a kid named Owen, and Owen was trying to cause some trouble. Watch this. He decided to drop a bunch of money in front of this one kid sitting down eating his lunch. The kid goes, "Oh, hey, is this yours?" Name on the board, alone tomorrow. This kid's a menace. He never says a word, but every single lunch period, he's trying to trap kids into talking. And people are falling into this trap. He's flicking food at people, accidentally bumping trays onto the ground, straight up kicking kids in the shin. What the? And the teachers think Owen's a saint. Every time they look over, he's just sitting there, arms crossed, smirking. By the end of the month, the quiet lunch board is full every single day, with kids spread apart all over the cafeteria because they were sitting alone, except for Owen. Eventually, the school's like, that's it. This is obviously not working, so we're getting rid of this rule. And the rule was gone, and it was all because of Owen. What a frickin' rascal. The craziest senior prank of all time. It's right after graduation. 20 to 30 seniors meet up in the school parking lot. And they're all carrying these giant bags, and in the bags are about 5,000 bouncy balls. You know the ones you throw on the ground and they just shoot straight up? Well, these seniors had already graduated, so they were done with school. They had somebody sneak them in through the school's side door. And during this time, lunch is in full swing. 200 to 300 kids are in this cafeteria. The seniors head up to the balcony that overlooks the cafeteria. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Every single bag is dumped over the railing at once. A rainbow waterfall of bouncy balls falls down and slams to the floor. Instant chaos, because the second they went down, they were coming right back up. It was like a wave of bouncy balls heading towards all these kids eating. It was instant chaos. All the seniors scatter away, and the kids in the cafeteria are going crazy. What is happening? What is this? I need my mom. One of the security guards sees one of the seniors running away, and he tackles her. Come here, come here. Ah! He drags her to the office, and she folds immediately, snitches on everybody. Every one of the seniors got a $200 trespassing fine, and they were so mad at her. Well, years later, one of them checked her Facebook page, and guess what she became? A security guard. Yeah, that's no surprise. What a snitch. Yo, this is crazy. So, one day, at the beginning of school, students arrive and it's already chaos. Not a single classroom door in the entire school will open. Teachers are in the hallway jiggling their keys, yelling to the office, "What is going on with this door?" Yeah, mine's jammed too. What the heck? Well, it turns out, overnight, somebody broke into the school and hammered pennies into every single door keyhole. The principal comes storming down the hall, trying to use his master key on all the doors, but it wasn't working. Get maintenance now. The maintenance guy shows up with pliers. Yeah, we need more pliers, boss. We've been sabotaged. After a while, students have just been standing around, not knowing what to do, because the doors won't open to any classroom. Eventually, the school just decided to send all the students home. The teachers are livid, but the kids, they loved it. As everyone's leaving, they notice a bunch of locksmith vans begin to pull up. It was an entire operation. Dude, this is crazy. I know, but hey, no school today. Nobody ever found out who did it, but that day lives on as the day pennies canceled school. Nice.
So this school was doing Spirit Week. You know, Pajama Day, Wacky Wednesday, stuff like that. Well, on Wacky Wednesday, this one kid showed up in a full suit of armor. Boots, gloves, gauntlets, the whole thing, 3 layers, night helmet. It was epic. And the school let him keep it on. Well, after second period, these 3 8th graders, who were the school bullies, decided to make fun of him. Hey, Nice outfit, Tin Man. What you got under there? Yeah, nice outfit, metal boy. Well, he's just standing there, not saying a word. The bullies didn't like this, so they start to attack him. What's your problem, dude? Yeah, what's your problem? My foot. One punches his shoulder, his hand is shaking, it might be broken. Some kid kicks him in the groin, his foot is hurting. And the third one, big guy, punches his knee and literally breaks his wrist. Ow! My foot! My foot! My wrist, guys. Guys, my wrist. It's broken. It's broken. Principal shows up and calls it a school fight. The kid in the armor gets suspended for a week, even though he did not touch any of them. He literally just stood there in his knight armor that the school let him wear. And the bullies, they didn't get in trouble at all. And that, my friends, is messed up.
তুমি অনেক ভালো একটা মাইয়া তোমার অনেক ভালো হবে
আমার মা হাসপাতালে ভর্তি ডাক্তার কইছে 2 ব্যাগ রক্ত আর 1 লাখ টাকা যদি আজকে
জন্য পাগল আর আপনি তানিয়ার জন্য পাগল
আরে জুলি এইটারে কয় ভালোবাসা আরিয়া তোমার হাতের রান্না
তোমার বড় ভাইয়ের ভালো না থাকলে এখান থেকে চলে যেতে বলো
আরে জুলি তুমি আবার কি রাইখা কি
প্রেমে ফেলতে পারো তাহলে আমি নিজে দাঁড়িয়ে থেকে তোমার আর তানিয়ার বিয়ে দেব
সারা দিন ধরে ভিক্ষা করছে আমাদের 1 লাখ টাকা আর 2 ব্যাগ রক্ত লাগবে কি করব বলো আমি তো আর প্রফেশনাল রিকশা চালক না প্রেমিক রিকশা চালক আমার তাহলে ক কি লিখছস কয় লাইন লিখছস ক
সে কি তোরে খুব ডিস্টার্ব করতো আরে না আরে শোন না একবার কি
আচ্ছা
ভাই আমাকে আপনার সাথে লাগা যান
কাম তোরা বুঝছি তো আমি আজকে আমার বিজয়ের দিন এখানে 100 কবিতা আছে সার্ভিসটা তো একটু আলাদা থাকবে তাই না
দেখেন আমি কলেজে যাব আমার দেরি হয়ে যাচ্ছে এসব নাটক দেখা
নাইস আর কি ওই যে তানিয়া তো পড়াশোনা করে সন্ধ্যার সময় যদি একটু খায় মাথাটা ঠান্ডা এই এগুলা কি এই কার্ডের ভিতরে আমার মেয়ের নাম লেখা কেন এই বাইরে মনে কর পিক করতে বুঝছো ওই যা পড়ছে আছে বলছে কি খবর তোমাদের কেমন আছো তোমরা সবাই ভালো তো না তুমি জানো তোমার কালকে তো কতবার বলছি
হ্যালো আসসালামু আলাইকুম
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম কি রে এদাই তুই মানা করতেছি কিছু না কিছু ভাবি আপনি জানেন আমি একবার অসুস্থ হয়ে গেছিলাম ও আমাকে রক্ত দেয়নি আর আজকে আপনাকে রক্ত দিয়ে চিঠি লিখছে
আমাকে বুকিং দিছে মানে আমাকে কে বুকিং দিছে দোস্ত
তোর যে আশিক আছে না এখন তো আমার পিছনে লাগছে
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয় আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা কেমন আছো তুমি
ভালো
আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করবো না রক্তটা দিবি তুই আমি কেন রক্ত দেবো প্রেম খরচ তুই রক্ত আমার বন্ধু জিসান আপনাকে অনেক ভালোবাসে ভাবি আপনার ওর রক্ত যাওয়াটা বিধা হতে দিবেন না ভাবি 073421924 এটা তোমার নম্বর না
জি জি আপনি কেমন আছেন
ভালো নেই আমি ভালো নেই আমিও তোর মতোই ভাবতেছি রক্ত যদি দিঠা যায় না রক্তটা আপনার কাছে এইটা আমার লাস্ট রিকোয়েস্ট ভাবি
আচ্ছা
কখন আসবে তোদের ভাবেই আর ভালো লাগতেছে না আমার সে যে কেন এলো
বার আসুন, তো এরপর যখন আসুন আপনার মেয়ে আমারে ডেকে নিয়ে আসুন।
পড়বি না।
আমি পড়বো মানে আমি কি পড়তে যাওয়ার মতো মেয়ে নাকি? হ্যাঁ, তাহলে
আমি হইতেছি রিক্সা, তুমি হইতেছে এসি বাস। মামা ভাড়া নিত কষ্ট, আমার বুকটা পাইতে গেছে, আমি অনেক কষ্ট পাইছি ভাই।
কষ্ট কোনো ব্যাপার না।
এই রিকশা,
এই ঘটনা ইতিহাস হয়ে থাকবো যে সেলিম ভাই ভালো।
আরে জুলি গেছে বাইরে মনে কর পিক করতে, বুঝছো?
মিনিমাম 1700 লাইন কবিতা লাগবো। তুই 700 লিখবি। মানুষ তো মর্ডার, যে কোনো সময় মারা যেতে পারে, মারা গেলেই বাঁচি।
আমার কথার বাইরে কোনো কিছু করবি না। আর ও যদি তোকে পড়ানোর চেষ্টা করে, তুই কোনোভাবে কোন হারামজাদা আমার মায়ের ডিস্টার্ব করে।
খালু আপনি শুধু শুধু রাগ করছেন। কই
আপনার মেয়ে যাবে না স্যার?
না, আমার মেয়ে যাবে না, আমি একা যাব। এই সেলিম, তুমি কই যাও?
মাডা মনে আর বাঁচবো না স্যার। কস কি তোর বাড়ি কই? স্যার শত যে থাকবো সেও গাছ চলবে। আমি চাই না আর কেউ গাছ চলবে। যা চাইছে আপনি তাই করছেন, এখন আমার মন যা চায় আমি তাই করি।